G'day guys, welcome back to the Scooby Forever channel and the very first special on this Sunday. Of course, if you're watching in America, it's obviously morning. Australia, it's evening. At the time I'm filming this, it is evening, of course. And thank goodness I'm finally reviewing this one. Today I'll be reviewing Season 3, Episode 13, A Menace in Venice. From the Scooby-Doo show. I haven't actually reviewed too many episodes from this series. However, I have reviewed some episodes, so go check them out if you haven't already seen them. Yeah, let's jump straight into the review.
It is the Ghostly Gondolier! He has struck again!
Soon the Doge's treasure will be mine.
So this is a fantastic episode. So good. Obviously set in Venice, which I recently visited. Unfortunately, didn't get to film it in Venice. Just not enough time due to, all the sightseeing and tours and visiting places and all that sort of stuff. I didn't actually get to film it there. However, a week later, I'm able to film this special review for you guys. Plus, I owe you guys a few reviews because I have missed a few weeks throughout the last couple of months due to heaps of homework. But anyways, back on to the episode, A Menace and Venice. What an episode. Obviously 10 out of 10 for me. I've always given this one a 10 out of 10, but I just love it even more now that I've actually been to Venice and seen most of the places, or at least maybe not gone to or actually stepped foot at the exact spot, but at least I've seen the places actually in Venice. Such a good episode. The Ghostly Gondolier is one of my favourite villains from the Scooby-Doo show. He's just so creepy, so well designed. Not necessarily spooky, but he's a fun villain, very, very creepy, and there's so much going on in this episode, and I really, really enjoyed that. Some people, like I know, for instance, Planet Scooby, watching his review the other day, for some reason, I don't know why, I just wanted to watch the episode because I was in Venice. I not only watched the episode, I watched his review on the episode, and go check him out. He's a fantastic Scooby-Doo YouTuber, probably the best one, especially at reviewing episodes, far better than me. But he said that he didn't exactly like this one as much as me, mainly because it had too much going on. Otherwise, I love this episode because it went to so many different places, and all of them were pretty spooky. He had memorable scenes as well. The ghost, like when he was walking through the painting down in the basement to go try and kidnap Antonio. He obviously had a portrait, which if you've seen it, down on my this is a small little picture in the right hand corner. You'll probably see it now if you take a look at this video of a portrait that was actually taken in the Doge's Palace in Venice for real, and this is the real picture of it now, and that was real, and then I've cropped the Ghostly Gondolier's portrait on top of it, which was kind of cool, I thought anyways. And of course he also showed up when Shaggy and Scooby were going on a gondola, which I also went on a gondola as well, which you can see footage of it now. Hello again, now on a gondolier in Venice, just like in the Ghostly Gondolier episode A Menace in Venice in the Scooby-Doo show, one of my favourite episodes, one of my favourite villains as well, and It's great to finally be on a gondolier here in Venice. Hope you guys enjoyed, and ciao from Italy. up on the screen. And yeah, just such a fantastic episode. They've obviously got the bell tower, and they also visit St. Marco Square in a massive chase scene towards the end of the episode. I can show you pictures of all that now, of the real life and obviously in this episode. The characters for this one, you got Antonio, who the gang is visiting, and he wears one of the Doge's special jewels around his neck, the blue one. I like to identify him by the coloured dot on them. He wears the blue one. The red one is in the museum. The green one we didn't actually get to see because it was already stolen by the Ghostly Gondolier. And the purple one, which was in the Opera House, which is where the Ghostly Gondolier shows up for a fantastic opening scene in this episode to steal it. And yeah, obviously Antonio is a fantastic character. I really wish we could see more of him in more episodes, but you know, he's a Venice guy, so he lives there. I didn't see him in Venice, if you guys were wondering. My gondola, which I can show you a picture of him now. I'm not sure if he's too happy about being on YouTube, but he's on YouTube now. Kind of looks similar to the gondola in this one. I mean, not really, but like at least his clothing is similar, so that's somewhat cool. Didn't see the Venice Opera House anywhere. I was really looking for it. I couldn't find it. There's a whole bunch of churches that definitely look like the Opera House, but didn't actually get to find that. Obviously, the other character that's featured a lot in this one is Mario, who is pals with Antonio. And you know, he works with him, studies with him at the academy. Obviously, the academy is set up in the Museum of the Doges, with like all the portraits of the past Doges that are related to Antonio. And of course, the Ghostly Gondolier has his portrait, and that's where Shaggy and Scooby first meet Professor Solari, or Solari, or I think that's his name. I don't know 100% for sure, but you know, he's one of the suspects in this one, and he looks pretty creepy looking, that's for sure. And he shows up a lot in this episode, or at least 2 or 3 times. Now, of course, it wouldn't be an amazing episode without kidnapping. And of course, Antonio, Mario, and Daphne got kidnapped in this episode. Daphne first, she was kidnapped while wearing the red medallion. And Antonio got kidnapped wearing the blue one, and Mario got taken by mistake by the Ghostly Gondolier because he was waiting in Antonio's office to, you know, pounce on him and capture him, which he did, but he thought it was Antonio, but it was actually Mario, and he left a big clue, which was red plastic on the floor. Yeah, Ghostly Gondolier as well. I just can't get over how good of a villain he was. Had so many cool scenes, you know, just collecting those the Doge's medallions, you know, trying to build it up, because in the portrait of the missing portrait of Doge Malvolio, you know, you got to put them all together to make a key to fit in to, like, I don't know, a place in Venice. And that's where his treasure was, because the legend, and it's a fantastic legend as well, was the Doge Malvolio the Fourth banished the Ghostly Gondolier, and like had him like put in the dungeons, but you know, he escaped, and then led armies that were against Venice, and they attacked Venice. They burnt down the original palace of the Doge, and it was obviously rebuilt, but the original one was burnt down. And that is actually the truth, because, you know, I got a tour of the Doge's palace, which is, you know, rebuilt now, and they rebuilt it in 15 something, but it was burnt down in 14 something, around when the Ghostly Gondolier was alive. So not bad to just throw the character saying that he burnt it down. Really well done. Obviously not real, but really, really well done. Just a fantastic legend. Obviously, the Ghostly Gondolier did get all the medallions and went down to steal the treasure, but the gang were able to stop him. Because he was, like, you know, stealing the treasure. He, you know, there's a scene showing him opening the chest, and looking at a few of the, diamonds and coins and jewelry and stuff like that. But then he chases after the gang, leaving the treasure behind. And then a really cool thing is they go up to, the bell tower in St. Marco's Square, and, they pretend, Shaggy and Scooby pretend to be part of the tower, but obviously doesn't fool the ghost. And they fall on a lion with wings, which is the symbol of Venice and is what they used to frighten off like attackers back then, or intruders into Venice. And it, it looked like a powerful creature, and it was like a griffin, really. It's not actually a griffin, obviously, because there's no bird and like tail and like claws in it, but it's still similar. But anyways, Scooby falls on that, and the vent that goes through Venice because Ghostly Gondolier, broke it off because it was a statue, and they crashed. He punctured a hole in the Ghostly Gondolier's gondola. Turned out to be an inflatable gondola, which wrapped around the ghost, capturing him. And the reveal turns out to be Mario. Mario was disguised as the Ghostly Gondolier, using it as a cover to try and steal the Doge's treasure. He obviously found the portrait of the Doge when Mario and Antonio were restoring some of the old paintings in the academy, and found it, and saw that you needed 4 medallions to unlock the hidden door to go and get the treasure, and they were all hidden around Venice. He eventually got them all, and he was gonna be a pretty rich man, and was easily gonna live well with the treasure. But to disguise his secret, he had to be a little bit more cautious around Antonio, especially seeming he is related to the Doge and all those other leaders, and he's got the blood in him. Mario actually does as well, and has red contact lenses built over the top of his eyes, which are obviously green because all the Doge's eyes have green eyes. And yeah, then he put it over, turned him brown, which was able to be a little bit more cautious around Antonio and the gang. So he actually has, green eyes, but they appeared brown. And the red plastic that was found when Mario was kidnapped was a bit of his contact lens that fell off when he was, I guess dressing up as the Ghostly Gondolier. Obviously, he wasn't kidnapping himself. It was impossible to do it. And then he had a special gondola, of course, that was inflatable, using CO2, carbon dioxide, to inflate it and deflate it, which was, it made it a lot easier to get around, and had secret passages, it was quite easy to get around and stuff like that. And, yeah, it was a really, really cool reveal. And then at the end of the episode, Shaggy and Scooby, they like crash and, fall into the sea with all their food. Also forgot to mention at the start of the episode, there's just so much to cover in this episode. It's so great that the gang were visiting Antonio's pizza parlor, and that's what they were doing at the start of the episode. Sorry that I forgot about it, but nevertheless, I still technically didn't forget about it because I still mentioned it. Absolutely superb episode. Doesn't get much better, really, this episode. It just doesn't get much better than this in the Scooby-Doo show, which is saying something because this show is ridiculous. I also love the gang when they're visiting around the world in this show. They go to so many different places, not just America. It's superb. The fact that they actually went to Venice and most of these places were real was absolutely superb. And just such a fantastic episode, such a fantastic city as well, to be having a Scooby-Doo episode located. And here's a little hidden fact. I'm not sure if I should be revealing this on YouTube, but anyways, I'll just do it. There was a hidden passageway actually in the Doge's palace that was located, and that was used so they could go down a bit quicker to the prison area because the prison area is, short. So maybe that's how the Ghostly Gondolier escaped. I mean, obviously it's been rebuilt and stuff like that, and it's more recent, but I still found it pretty scary when I found out on the tour that there was a secret passageway leading from one of the Doge's main rooms down to the prison in the Opera House. There's also many secret passages around the St. Marco Square and stuff like that because many James Bond movies have been filmed there, and quite a spooky location, and definitely frightened me a little bit when I heard this. But yeah, just such a fantastic episode. I really enjoyed this review. Of course, there is still one more special out on the channel now. You've probably clicked on this episode first, as I've scheduled it to come out first. But go check out Pompeii and Circumstance, which is up on the channel now. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Look, a leaning tower of pizza.
Make sure they're sliced, Scoob.
Coming right up.
I have never had a pizza served like this before. Hold on, Scoob. I forgot one.